Hello, this is Dean Graziosi. Welcome back to the weekly blog. Hey, last week I showed you a little clip of a new show I did while I was driving. I appreciate all your comments, and I'm not crazy. The reason I did that is what I've come to realize is once people watch our show, they get engaged, want to change their life, and they end up right where you are at deangraziosi.com and in our success academies and with the Edge event, and we get to affect people's lives in a positive way. But the biggest problem we have in today's environment with so many stations and all of us with ADD and all of us so busy is channel surfing nonstop. So what I figured was if I was crazy enough to drive in a car and film a show, that people would stop the channel. And when they did, they'd realize that we have the true wisdom, capability, direction, and confidence in my books to change their life. So that's why I was crazy. I know some of you had concerns driving and talking, but that's why I did it. So here's a challenge for you. If you have an idea on how I can get people to stop the channel when they're surfing so they can listen to me and get engaged and change your life, I'd love to hear it. And if we use your idea, well, then I'll make something really special for you. We got a couple ideas. One is, and it was already a couple of suggestions from you guys, but we have it on our list. I'm either going to fly or drive to different properties I've done around the country and film myself in front of my properties. And a lot of deals that I'm currently doing, since I have over 40 deals going on right now, I might as well get people to see what I'm doing. So that might be one idea. But again, if you have a just crazy idea that I might be willing to try to get people to stop the channel and listen, I'd love to hear it. Okay, I asked you guys to leave some questions. I have a couple answers. First, there was a question from Mark on my favorite way to invest. Well, what I've come to realize at this point in my life, I like creative things. I like trying something new because so many times when you think there's nothing left, there's still a whole pile of things you haven't tried. So I loved investing with Matt Larson up in the Quad Cities, Iowa, Illinois area. We tried different strategies. I got to invest through Matt, and I got to see a new way of looking at things through his eyes because I'm not a beginner anymore, and Matt was a beginner, so I got to look through his eyes. Chip and Andrea, they won last year's Send Me Away contest. Just a couple investors who never did real estate got my book and changed their life, got involved in our Real Estate Success Academy, and now we're looking at 2 or 3 deals with them right now, and we're going to pick one and do a deal together. You know, I have someone in my office, a good friend of mine who started working for me. I have him going through our probate finder system, and I said, I want you to go through, and I want you to find probates, and we'll work out an arrangement, but I want to see it through his eyes. So at this point in my life, my favorite investing deal is one that just something I didn't think of. Now, we're working with Chip and Andrea. If you don't know who they are, you can go to deansmedia.com and check them out. But they found some really great deals, and even though I can plunk down the cash at this point in my life, we're still working really hard to make it either a minimal or very low down payment on a really big project because we can. So, and I'll keep you guys informed on whatever deal we do. But I guess I didn't go real deep on that answer other than I like thinking outside the box. I like being creative because every deal has a certain amount of ingredients you could apply to it and make it work. Another question from Brandon was, is it worth buying properties even if they're not at that huge deep discount? You know, if it's only 10% or 20% off rather than 40 to 50% off, should you still buy it? And the answer is yes and no. If it's just an average deal in an average area where you need a bank loan, you're not sure if you can rent it, or rental market is kind of weak, then I would say let's stay strong, let's stay steadfast for the really killer deals, because then you have so much room that it's really hard to lose money. But on another note, if you're in an area with unique circumstances, okay, if you find a property that's 10% off, but the owner owns it free and clear and he's willing to hold the mortgage for you, it might surely be worth doing that deal. If you're in an area where the rental market is really, really strong and things rent just like that, and even though you're only buying the property at 10 or 20% off, but you know you can rent it with positive cash flow, and it's an area that's growing that you know in 4 or 5 years it's going to go up 20, 30%, then of course it's worth buying. If the bank will give you a loan on a property and it cash flows, it may be worth buying. But if you live in Detroit or an area where people are moving away from and rental market is weak, you surely don't want a 10 or 20% discount. You want to be in really low, so your exit strategy, worst case scenario, you still make some money. So look for unique circumstances for every single deal. That's why my original program was called Think a Little Different. Make sure that it fits you and makes you money, or has the ability to make you money with that deal. So thanks again for leaving the questions. You want to leave some more questions this week? I'll always give an opportunity to have you leave those. I'll do my best to answer those questions without making this a 10-minute blog. Love to hear if you have any thoughts on a way to get people to stop the channel. And I appreciate you and all your feedback, and I appreciate everybody who helps others at deangraziosi.com. I'll see you next week.